happening tomorrow, mental health takes center stage at the Maine Summit for Mental Health, Substance Abuse, and Suicide Prevention. It's designed to equip organizations and individuals with tools and strategies to foster a culture of compassion and support in the workplace.
Now, here to tell us more about the event is Representative Lydia Crafts, who is from the Damascotta area. Thanks for joining us this morning. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you both so much for featuring this and including me in the morning show.
It's such an important topic. Can you tell us about your involvement in this event and why it's so important?
Yeah, so my background is as a clinical social worker, but I also have the privilege of serving in the Maine House of Representatives, where I chair the Joint Standing Committee on Transportation. So this summit tomorrow is really coming together of both parts of my world. And part of what's really important is recent studies have shown the rate of suicide and substance use disorder within the construction industry is phenomenally higher than in other trades. And so this summit tomorrow is really an effort to bring trade industry folks together and offering some resources for employers to better support their employees, especially in a time of struggling workforce support, to make sure that they understand how to best support the mental health needs and challenges employees face and know how to connect their employees to the resources and services available in our communities.
How long has this been happening, this summit, sort of the history behind it, and what can we expect tomorrow throughout the day?
Sure, this is the first summit of its kind, which is really a great illustration of how industry is stepping in to make sure that we have that connection at the point of contact, right? When people are showing up at work, if they're showing signs of struggling, that employers, supervisors, and managers know how to support them. And really the goal is to help reduce the stigma and shame that so many people across our state face when they're when they're struggling and when they really need the help.
Why do you think there's so much when it comes to like the construction industry? Why is that?
Yeah, I think there's some unique features about the work. One, it's physically demanding, and we see physical injury as one of the leading sources of prescription drug dependencies. I think it can be isolating. People can travel far from home and lack the support of family and friends when they need it. As well as, it's a male-dominated field, and we know that suicide rates within men in construction trades are 4 times higher than the general population. And so reducing kind of that tough guy image to make sure that folks understand asking for help is a sign of strength and courage. It's not a weakness, and that everyone can and really should ask for help when they need it.
Who will we be hearing from tomorrow?
We have a diverse array of industry folks who have bravely stepped up to share their stories and their family stories struggling with mental health and substance use disorder. We have folks from the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, as well as a member of the Addiction Resource Center with Maine Health. And so we're really going to try to cover a bunch of different points of entry and those touch points where workers and their employers might come together, and hopefully people feel like we're building that culture of compassion and support for everyone.
Why do you think this is important, like now, at this time?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think that we've seen a lot of public understanding around mental health coming out of COVID. We saw the rates increasing. Suicide and recent statistics around suicide in the construction industry were just published this past summer. And so the industry is really aware of if we need a healthy and high-functioning workforce, we have to make sure that we're stepping in and taking the role and supporting that so that the future of the industry is also really strong and vibrant.
Obviously, this is the first year for the summit. Is this something you hope to do in the future, or and have it be different each year? What are you kind of seeing for the future for this?
Yes, well, it's really been spearheaded by the Maine Better Transportation Association, and I commend them for their work as well as their partners. I hope that this is an ongoing conversation, both within construction and transportation, but across the sectors, because as we know, that suicide, mental health, and substance use disorder knows no boundaries, and it really affects each and every one of our communities.
The people are watching here right now. What can you do? What can you say to help if they're having a tough time managing their stress?
I would just say that help is available, and asking for help from your loved ones at work, in your communities, your churches, it makes a huge difference, and things won't stay the same forever, right? There is help, and there's a reason to feel optimistic because we have services across our state that will help you, and life can be healthy and prosperous moving forward.
And where can people maybe find out more either about the summit or maybe those resources that you mentioned, maybe a website?
Yes, NAMI Maine has great resources for mental health supports, as well as checking out the Maine Better Transportation Association page.
All right.
There you go. Representative Lydia Crafts, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hope that it's a great success tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right.